Fernando Soto.
We are all our own personal DJs. We decide what plays within us. We decide what we play at the highest volumes and we listen to it, and what we play at the lowest volumes and we tune it out. Good evening, my fellow DJs. What are we playing right now at the highest volumes that may not be serving us? And what are we playing at the lowest volumes that could? Last fall, I had my anxiety turned all the way up. Nothing seemed to be going right. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, a director of a Netflix film called me. He said that I was recommended by the lead actor and that an actor had dropped out that morning and they were looking to fill a role last minute. He asked me if I was available the next day and if I could learn all my lines. And I said, yes, I can. He said, great. He said, I'm going to send you an email tonight with all the information and I will see you tomorrow on set. I said, great. And then he hung up. I had turned my anxiety all the way down. And I had turned my confidence all the way up. I got onto the set location the next day and I was ready to rock and I was ready to roll. I knew all my lines, forwards and backwards, inside and out, up and down. I was immediately rushed into the hair and makeup and I sat down in the makeup artist's chair and she said, what role are you playing? And I said, I'm playing the role of Gustav. She said, you're Gustav? I said, yeah, I'm Gustav. She goes, do you know who Gustav is? I said, well, not really. I haven't read the whole script. She goes, Gustav is the main villain of this film. I said, oh. She said, all the scenes that we filmed up to today are beautiful, but this is the most important scene today. You are the most important character. I said, oh. She said, there's even whispers of nominations. I said, oh. It was then that the first assistant director barged into the room. She said, Gustav. I said, yes. She goes, do you know all your lines? I said, yes. She said, great, because we're going to give you some more. I said, oh. She said, be on set in 20 minutes for rehearsal. I said, okay. And then she left. It was then that I turned my ego all the way up. I got onto set and there was 3 people in the room. There was the director, there was the lead actor, and then there was an unknown. The director waved me to come in, gestured for me to sit down. I sat down. He said, listen, guys, we're going to do 1 take for rehearsal, and then every take after that will be for picture. He goes, are you ready? We said, yes. So he said, and action. And as the lead actor was dropping his first line, I licked my lips because I was ready to razzle and I was ready to dazzle. And as soon as I opened my mouth, ready to release my first line, the unknown reached over and took it from my lips and dropped it for me. And then he said another one of my lines, and another one of my lines. And then I turned all the way up. The WTF is happening here? And then the director came in and said, cut. And he looked at the unknown and he said, Gustav. I said, Gustav? He goes, you really need to learn all your lines. And he goes, Fernando, can I talk to you over there? And I said, oh. And it was then that I turned my confidence all the way down. And I turned my self-doubt all the way up. The director said, Fernando, there's been a miscommunication. At a gas station in Canton last night, the writer heard the accent of the gas station attendant. And he thought that that accent would be perfect to play the main villain of this Netflix film. And he asked the gas station attendant if he would be available today and if he would like to be in a Netflix film. And the gas station attendant said, yes. Now, I know I brought you all the way out here, but I agree with the writer. That's the accent we need. But we'd still like you to be in the scene, just more as an extra. And then he walked away. It was then that I turned my embarrassment all the way up. And then followed by that, I turned my anger all the way up. Don't they know who I am? I'm Fernando Soto. I'm the real Gustav. They will rue the day, I promise you. And I turned around because I was ready to storm out of there. And the first assistant director said, Fernando, where are you going? And I turned around and I was ready to scave. But it was then that I remembered that I'm my own personal DJ. I'm in charge of what plays inside of me. And the things that I had turned up all the way up were not serving me. And as difficult as it was, and it was difficult, I decided to turn down the volumes on my embarrassment, on my ego, on my anger. And then I turned the volume all the way up on my professionalism. So I looked at the first AD and I said, I'm not going anywhere. And I went back onto set and I sat down. And the director said, all right, guys, this is for picture and action. And as soon as he said action, I turned the volume all the way up on my boldness because I knew two things. One, I knew all the lines. And two, Gustav, the fake one, only knew three. So as he continued to fumble and stumble and mumble his way through the scenes, I decided to drop every line that I knew. And I grabbed 17 of the 20 lines back and they were mine. And the director said, cut! I didn't anticipate that this would be the best scene of the film. That was beautiful. And the cast and the crew all rejoiced. Bravo, bravo. What do we have at the highest volumes that may not be serving us? And what do we have at the lowest volumes that could? We are in charge of what plays inside of us. We decide what gets to be played at the highest volumes and what gets to be played at the lowest volumes. We have to remember that we are our own personal DJs.